Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Visalia. For the next 15 minutes will be our meditation time. As you go into meditation, there's a slide that's going to come up here in just a second. Take this thought with you into your meditation. We'll see you back at 10:15. Welcome back from meditation. For the next 15 minutes is going to be our meet and greet time. So if you're out there in Cyberland, feel free to get yourself a beverage of some sort, maybe a little snack, and we will be back at 10:30. Where's Kevin? Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. If we could all find our seats and find our pianist. Where did he go? Because our band will get us started here in just a second. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? I know. But in the grand scheme of things, it was really hot this time last year, and not so much this year. So while we're waiting for Kevin, I will tell you that this is Pride Month. Here in Visalia, we celebrated it in a different month, but throughout the world, this is Pride Month. June is typically Pride Month, as you'll see by our Pride candle up here. And it's celebrating the life of the LGBTQ plus community, both past, present, and future. So it's a big month and a big celebration. And here he is. So the band will get us going.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love life's the old way. Seems like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you, and you're there for me too. You're still in bed at 10, that works begins at 8. You burned your breakfast so far, things are going great. Your mother always told you to be days like this, but she didn't tell you when the world has brought you down to your knees. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you, and you're there for me too. No one could ever know me second gear. And when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, but I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you and you're there for me too. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you and you're there for me too.
We are so blessed with such great music and such a great band and vocalists. Welcome. My name is Sheila O'Kane. I'm president of the Board of Trustees here at Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia. And do we have anyone here for the first time? I don't think so. Nope. So everybody just came home. Welcome. Birthdays, thank you. I knew I was forgetting something. This is birthday month. Do we have any June birthdays? My granddaughter, Donna. My granddaughter, my father. So let's sing happy birthday to our birthday people.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
So since it's birthdays, I'm guessing we've got goodies out there after service. And Donna's going to bring us some announcements.
Yes, there's birthday cake, and Carol brought us her fruit, so we're all set. So happy June, beginning of June, and we have several announcements. The first one is Explorers is today. Yay! So Explorers is our wonderful, I don't know, I still read the newspaper, you know what that is? And the Sunday religious columns are getting different. You know, they're more our style. They're not traditional anymore. I'm really enjoying them. And that's sort of what we do in Explorers. We talk about different philosophies and different viewpoints. So today we are talking about what meets the eye and don't resist evil and turn the other cheek in the Sermon on the Mount. So 12:30 today on Zoom or in the center. I hope you'll come back, get some lunch and come back because it's always a fascinating discussion. And Bev, our great Bev, who's our connection to the source, says that the source needs donations. They have homeless kids. They have kids that have been kicked out of their home. They have poor people anyway. They have needs. So they need hygiene supplies. So here's a list of the kind of things they need. There are flyers on the back table. And Bev, did you bring a box? Okay. Okay, so Bev is going to put a box right here, and it's going to be up here for the next few weeks or so in June. And bring supplies that we can help these youth out. And we talked about this is a Pride Month, and we're going to celebrate Juneteenth here on the actual day, June 19th. And we're getting plans together. We're going to be having a meeting tomorrow to figure out what we're doing, but we're going to have gospel singers, drummers, probably food, the history of what Juneteenth is all about. Buddy Jones is going to be here, talk about his grandmother who was born a slave. So I think it'll be fascinating. Oneness for everybody. Everybody can come, and we'll talk about it more. And we'll turn it over to Reverend Nan.
Thanks, Donna. Thank you so much. Welcome to June, as everybody said. It is a special month that has some interesting diversity going on in it. As mentioned, June is Pride Month, and that's when the LGBT all around the world, those communities come together and celebrate the freedom to be themselves. Freedom is a big thing in June. I'm going to be talking about Juneteenth in just a moment. Pride events welcome anyone who feels like their sexual identity falls outside the mainstream, although many straight and or heterosexual people, what we call heterosexual people, join in also in support. Now, the original organizers chose this month to pay homage to the Stonewall Uprising in June 1969 that occurred in New York City, rather. And it sparked the entire gay rights movement with the brutality that occurred during that experience. So gay pride celebrations have been going on ever since then, and the main events in Visalia are usually held in October when the weather is more cooperative. Now, you can check the website for the source and get the latest information there, and I really do encourage you to drop off the things that we've made known to be used by youth over at the source. It's a nonprofit organization. They do a lot of good work, and they support kids who are still not in the best conditions because they have been kicked out of their homes. They're not approved of. They're living different lifestyles, and it can be very challenging when you're young and you don't have much of anything. So you can get the latest information for anything that's happening there this month on their website. I want to share some information about Juneteenth. Now, I've spoken about it for the past 2 years, and I was hoping that we all might understand it better because it's an extremely significant date. And today, it bears repeating since we are planning a Juneteenth celebration here, as Donna mentioned. We always think of July 4th as being Independence Day for the United States. However, for slaves in America, the real Independence Day didn't occur until 1865. In 1863, during the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared more than 3 million slaves living in the Confederate States to be free. However, it took more than 2 years before the news reached African American slaves living in Texas. Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas on June 19, 1865, carrying the word of their emancipation. And that is when the state's residents, who were the majority of slaves west of the Mississippi, finally learned that slavery had been abolished. Now, I will say that not everyone was set free even then, and it took some time. So the former slaves on that date began to celebrate immediately with prayer, feasting, song, and dance. And in the following year, on June 19th, the first official Juneteenth celebrations took place in Texas. Now, the original observances included prayer meetings and the singing of spirituals, and those celebrating wore new clothes as a way of representing their newfound freedom. And within a few years, African Americans in other states were celebrating the day as well, making it an annual tradition. Celebrations have continued across the United States into the 21st century and have typically included prayer and religious services, speeches, educational events, family gatherings and picnics, and festivals with music, food, and dancing. Juneteenth became a state holiday in Texas in 1980, and a number of other states subsequently followed suit. However, it wasn't until 2021 when Juneteenth was made a federal holiday. Before 2021, in states that hadn't made it a state holiday, Black Americans had to use vacation time, paid time off, or simply be unpaid to observe the holiday that was the most important remembrance of their freedom. Sometimes we take for granted that holidays we observe are equally significant to all people in this country. And we have a tendency to forget that there are cultural equities that need to be observed out of respect and inclusivity. I really recommend you plan on attending the celebration here at the center and getting more informed about this holiday, because this day is also celebrated outside the United States. It's being used by organizations in a number of countries to recognize the end of slavery and to honor the culture and achievements of Black African Americans. I share this interesting quote from a CNN senior writer, A.J. Willingham. He writes, I've been thinking about the difference between tolerating and celebrating. When you tolerate someone, it's as if you're forcing yourself to acknowledge they exist. But when you celebrate someone, you're letting them know you actively appreciate their existence. They bring something valuable to the world just by being them. So do plan on coming and celebrating this federal recognition of a special day in Black history. You know, the more we know, the more we can stop tolerating folks, behaviors, other inequities, and the more we can grow in compassion, love, and unity by celebrating everyone and freedom. And now I'd like to share our inclusivity quote selected by Bobby Levine this week. Now, we meet on Monday afternoon, and every week we have a new quote. And this is a quote from Ernest Holmes this week, and it's very appropriate to our monthly theme of self-care, since we often think of caring for ourselves as selfish. So Dr. Holmes writes, excuse me, does this thing I wish to do express more life, more happiness, more peace to myself, and at the same time harm no one? If it does, it is right. If it doesn't, it's not right. But if it does, it is right, and it is not selfish. So now I'm going to pass this to Janice for our affirmation and opening treatment.
Thank you, Reverend Nan. I noticed that Reverend Nan's shirt had flamingos on it. Did anybody else catch that? That was very pretty. Anyway, before I do the affirmation, I would like 3 people to come forward because they received their certificates for participating in class. And they're all here today, aren't they lucky? So I know this is going to absolutely make their week, if not the year. So if I could, I'll start here in the back with Lisa, Layla. Yay. You're so welcome. Bev Anderson. Thank you, thank you. And Karen Davis. I'm not shaking hands. I'm still working I'm on this journey of finding out why I am so shaky, and one thing's down and something else to go, who knows? So I want to say, though, that I just enjoyed these wonderful beings in our group. We had a wonderful time, and I think that each of us grew from it. I know that I did, and I hope that's the same for for each of them, for all 3 of them, I should say. And then I would like to draw your attention to the Science of Mind magazine. And we have some for sale, but this is very cool. You know, there's the daily meditations that they have in here. Well, this month, the person that put this together put lyrics from songs. So there'll be a couple of lines from a song in there, and then the quote from Ernest Holmes, and then the little write-up. So I know Reverend Nan was really excited about that. She likes songs, and we sang, or sort of sang, all the way to Florida. So, and I want to also say for the birthdays, Miss Dawn, could you please stand and tell me what is on your skirt? And there's a reason it's Marilyn Monroe. Okay, sit down. Obviously, Marilyn Monroe is an icon. Well, our twin granddaughters, great-granddaughters, had their birthday, and I guess you could say that they are Swifties because they had a Taylor Swift cake. What can I say? Their mother sent us a picture. It was really cute. So with that, I would like to have the affirmation. I mindfully fill my cup up with the love of who I am. Let's say that together. I mindfully fill my cup up with the love of who I am. Now, if you would just go within. I know that I am love. I am love. I am peace. I am joy. I am abundance. I am all of those wonderful qualities because I am part of God. And what I know for myself, I know for every other human being on this planet. And I know that as I go within, that I find the love that I am. And that love overcomes any challenge, anything that I am facing, because that is what is important about me. And I know that everything that happens at our service today blesses each of us and leads us to a happier, more fulfilling life as we truly take care of ourselves, and as we do that, we take care of others. I release my word knowing that it is already so, and we say together, and so it is.
We invite you to sing along with us. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. Here we go. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. And every day I affirm and pray, now I'm blessed with everything I have. I release my fear, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am saved. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. Now I see what my life could be when I trust in the process and have faith. Now I know that when I let go, I have all that I'll ever need. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well. Let's sing that again. Here we go. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well. Last time, here we go. I relax, let go, release and
Good morning again. I love that song. You know, it's just one of those old 50s kind of doo-wop songs. That was some good music then. Of course, that was before my time, so what the heck. But I do like it. So thank you, Hope and Dawn and the band. We are blessed with great music. So good morning again and happy first Sunday in June. Whoa, I find it really hard to believe we're in June already, yet here we are. And since we're starting a new month, we have a new global theme we'll be investigating together. It's embracing self-care. Now, you might wonder what that has to do with our annual theme of living life out loud. It's pretty simple, really. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, our quality of life may not be as vibrant and vital as it's meant to be. We might be living life as a whisper, or maybe even a grumble, instead of our full capacity. When we think about it, we do tune-ups on our vehicles to keep them running smoothly. We repair plumbing and electrical things around our homes. We tend our lawns and gardens. We do our laundry. We do various things. And we even encourage others to take care of themselves. But how difficult is it for us to take our own advice? You know, Melody Beattie states in her classic work, Codependent No More, that giving ourselves what we need is not difficult. I believe, she writes, we can learn quickly. The formula is simple. In any given situation, ask, what do I need to do to take care of myself? Then we need to listen to ourselves and to our higher power and respect what we hear. You know, truthfully, self-care hasn't always been encouraged or even talked about. It started back in the medical field in the 1950s, and the meaning was similar to that of today. It included activities where people were advised to see their worth, and this investment in recognizing self-worth and value could then help us cultivate healthier habits that would promote prevention and health maintenance. It went from disease taking care of it after the fact to preventing situations. Preventive medicine became the key to one's well-being. So self-care is kind of an investment in oneself. As time went by, the term began to be used in other fields like the civil rights movement, which encouraged the practice of self-care to be able to continue the pursuit of equality. Today's self-care has evolved to encourage us to become the beings each of us is here to be by remembering that we are what we think, not just the proverbial slogan of what we eat. By training and feeding the mind with creative thoughts that build and strengthen our body, mind, and spirit, we're more prone to build strong self-worth that helps us be the person we're here to be, which includes being joyful, healthy, and wealthy. Our commitment to self-care affects not just our life, but also the lives of all the people and places we surround ourselves with, since we don't live in an isolated vacuum. We're not here just for ourselves, rather we're here for the whole. And that's W-H-O-L-E, just to be clear. Often we think of self-care as applying to only making healthier food choices and exercising more. But the truth is, there's no self-care without attending to our mind first. Our mind is powerful. The way we perceive ourselves and behave stems from the mind and our thoughts that we have every day of our lives. Now, this includes beliefs that we've acquired along the road of living. You can get therapy sessions from the greatest mind gurus, the greatest self-healers, but if you don't treat your mind, your emotions, that you think, then there is no way you would care for and love yourself. Our mind can contain old self-defeating and demeaning thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never succeed at what I'm doing. I've always been a failure at every new thing I tried. Our thoughts might even contain other people's thoughts that we picked up along the way. And some of those might include, oh, you'll never get ahead unless you work really, really hard. You have to struggle to make anything. Or here's one of my favorite misunderstandings of New Thought that permeated religious science and still lingers a little bit. And that's the question of, what is wrong with me that I can't change something about me when I'm supposed to be able to create and manifest whatever I want by thinking about it? You know, sometimes we might even have the maybe I should just give up and stop trying thought. Now, these thoughts come from our mind when we haven't learned how to release a non-supportive thought and let it just flow past without hanging on to it as part of our identity. You know, I try to work with folks when they've had diagnoses that are not the most friendly, cancer, major disease processes. And we say, oh, I have cancer, or I have Parkinson's, or I have something. Well, actually, we have a diagnosis of that because we are not the diagnosis. And once we can understand that we can choose our thoughts and how we view everything, we can learn to be aware of what we're thinking and we can make new choices. And when we do that, we're in for some wonderful freedom without having to take ownership of labels or thoughts that are not the truth of our being. This frees us to live the best life we can ever imagine. You know, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said this: we must come to believe that at the center of our lives there is a wholeness, and we should think of the mind as the door through which it enters. Therefore, we should be very careful to guard what comes into our mind from the opinion of others, and to regulate what comes into it from any source. Any source includes the stories we tell ourselves in any given moment or situation, not just any other place that's around us or external to us. Regulating our own opinions, judgments, and criticisms of ourselves is some of the most important self-care we can choose to do. The truth is, we're created from a perfect source, and each of us contains the original pattern of divine perfection that's unique to us as individuals. When we become aware of our spiritual perfection and tap into our mind's abilities to create the ideal life for us, then all of a sudden we realize there is no specific image to look up to for perfection. There's no need for comparison, no need for us to judge ourselves by TV commercials or movies that hype only the perfect bodies or super talents. As we begin to understand and come to know that each one of us is part of the macrocosmo, and individualization of the one, we can release thoughts that no longer serve us. We don't need to model after anyone or anything. We can feel and accept our perfection. We only need to look within to come in contact with who we truly are, harness our potential, and live comfortably in our own skin. A big order, but we can do it. This awareness helps us see ourselves in a greater light. If any self-defeating thoughts existed before, we can use our power of freedom to choose and release them. We can actually eliminate them and replace them with new ideas of how we choose to live in the now. When we choose life-affirming thoughts, we boost the creative portion of our mind that opens new doors of personal expression. We build our love for ourselves, and self-love helps us harness thoughts that encourage self-care for ourselves. And that is not something we can subcontract out to other folks. Nope. So the big question here is, who's taking care of you? That's my talk title. The answer to that question is that the work of self-care is ours to do as individuals. And all of our growth and expansion of consciousness is an inside job. It always has to start there. Matthew Fox writes in The Coming of the Cosmic Christ, very interesting statement. One must let go of internalized oppression and dare to see oneself again as an image of God, as an original blessing, as a co-creator with divinity. Self-love is a rare and radical kind of love because it requires a trust of our right to be here and of the universe's love of us. Now, did you catch that? As a co-creator with divinity. Didn't say that we're isolated, separated, and only have to create whatever we want with our own energy, thoughts, and beliefs. And those might not be even accurate. Nope. We co-create self-love as we learn to turn within to trust the universe's love of us. Our spiritual principle of love states that love is the self-givingness of universal spirit through its desire to express itself in terms of creation. We are made individually in love, as love, so that universal spirit can experience physical life as love through us, as us. There's no finite mold of universal spirit that says we all have to be size 6, have the same skin colors, all be lawyers or garbage collectors, or have the same spiritual beliefs. There's no expectation or requirement of universal spirit for each of us to be exact replicas of movie stars with six-pack abs, or a flawless complexion, or even superstars in sports or business. In fact, we don't even have to be Gandhis or Mother Teresa's. Nope. Ours is to learn to care for ourselves the same way we would a newborn, to view ourselves through the eyes of spirit love when we look in the mirror and see decades of wrinkles, and to be able to say to ourselves, I love myself the way I am. There's nothing to rearrange. And to keep the door open for being comfortable within ourselves, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We can just close that door and say, nope, can't change. This is the way it is. But that's what self-care is about. It's about finding the areas that we may not be so comfortable, using the power of choice to create new mental equivalents, new thoughts of how we want to feel comfortable, and then using our spiritual practices as supportive care to co-create with the infinite the things we would like to change. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the Serenity Prayer. Using whatever term you like for the creative energy of all life, God, universe, Buddha, Allah, Great Spirit, I'd like to consider it now. So I'm using the word God since it's in the original prayer, but as I say that, you can replace it with whatever works for you. So it goes like this. It's very short. There is a long version, but we're using the short version. And that's what most everybody is familiar with. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Now think about that. I'll be speaking in the first person for just a moment, but the concepts apply to all of us. If we look at serenity to accept the things I can't change. That may be something like height, skin color, a physical condition that creates a different level of ability. And that takes awareness about what I can and cannot change. I can't change the ways of war in this world, and I certainly can't stop the media from hyping up the most divisive, inflammatory language of politicians, including some from the state that I live in right now. But I can achieve serenity through my spiritual practice of accepting what I can't change. And then we have courage to change the things I can. Through affirmative prayer, what we call our spiritual mind treatment, I can declare my courage. I can claim it. I can empower myself to speak to the power of the presence that exists within me as my natural perfection, source, and energy. And I can choose a new idea about something I would like to change in my life. I can have the courage to allow myself to feel how that new way of being would feel. More joy, more peace, more flexibility, more focus, more love. Whatever it might be, how would I feel if that were true for me? I can have the courage to speak to healthcare professionals about a concern I might have. I can have courage to speak to a minister or a practitioner if I would like help with my choices and releasing old beliefs and old thoughts. I can have courage to seek a professional for old beliefs that have left deep scars that require special therapy for healing, old experiences that have left wounds that are more difficult to reach. And then there's the wisdom. Now that's a tricky picture right there, I think. There's the wisdom to know the difference by leaning into the ever-present divine guidance of what is mine to do and what is not. I can turn to the wisdom that comes from sacred study, mindfulness practices, and visioning. And sometimes the most important wisdom is in our forgiveness practice. Yeah. We forgive ourselves, we forgive others, and I think of it as the reported quote in biblical scripture, when Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Sometimes the most powerful forgiveness is the forgiveness of the not knowingness. Sometimes we err without knowing. Sometimes we hurt others without knowing. Sometimes others hurt us without knowing. And when we incorporate forgiveness for the not knowingness, there is a wide net of pain, suffering, and sorrow that can be released, and everyone's innate wholeness can be revealed. This can also work in instances where people are intentionally hurtful of others because they don't know the love from which they originated. They don't recognize that each of us is made of the same stuff. They don't understand that what they say, what they do is harmful. They only know how to be from what they've learned and how people are being treated now today. It's a lot different than when I was growing up. You know, Roger Teal put it this way in his book, This Life is Joy. Forgiveness is one of the highest expressions of self-love. It is loving yourself enough to move out of that stuck place, to get out of that quicksand. It is taking all of the energy devoted to fear and resentment and channeling it into something that is constructive, life-giving, and uplifting. Forgiveness is freeing yourself to get back to the higher agenda of your life, no longer tethered to the past. And that's from his book, This Life is Joy. You know, when we practice self-care, we don't find happiness. We become it. We embody it through our serenity, our courage, and our wisdom. It's the gift we give ourselves that always keeps on giving, first to us and then to others, as we become examples of greater expressions of living and loving our lives more completely. In closing, I'd like to share one more quote from Dr. Holmes. And I'd like you to take it with you this week, to contemplate it every day, and consider your serenity, your courage, and your wisdom as you do so. And Dr. Holmes says this: "I am perfect, no matter what my appearance may be." I want you to think about that. I am perfect. You are perfect, no matter what my appearance may be, no matter what your appearance may be, or what the appearance of your life may be. So that's the truth of you. That's the truth of us. We are, you are, I am, are made from and of perfect love. And you are perfect and beautiful just the way you are. And so it is. And now let's just cap that with a little prayer here. Let's just celebrate that perfection of the divine. I just invite you to join me now. You can take a soft focus on anything in the room. You can close your eyes if you feel like it. Just take this time to have that moment with the infinite. To come into that truth of knowing that that one perfect source created all that is, ever was, ever shall be. I know that it is the source of all humanity. I know that it is the source of all creation. It is infinite. It is divine intelligence. It is wisdom. It is love. It is serenity. It is courage. And it is wisdom. And as I was created from this, I know too that I am all those things. And I know that every being was created in the same way. So I know that they too are these things and more. And I know that we are all connected through that infinite tapestry of life, the warp and the weft of the universe, the love, the light, the beauty, the peace, the power. We are one. And so in this moment, as I speak this word for everyone here in the sound of my voice and beyond, I lift each person up into the truth of their perfection, knowing that every being holds that divine essence of love within them, that it radiates, that it can never be touched by anything or anyone, that it is always there, and we have only but to turn within to recognize it. And so I bless each person today with a recognition, a remembrance of who they really are, that they are, each of us, all of us, perfect, regardless of what the appearance may be. And I give great thanks knowing that there is enough serenity, courage, and wisdom to change this entire universe as we can co-create a world that works for all together. I bless this time. I give thanks. I release this into the law of mind that always says yes, and so it is. And now I want you to listen to this beautiful music and be reminded of who you really are.
Every day is so wonderful. Suddenly, it's hard to breathe. Now and then, I get insecure from all the pain. So ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh no, don't you bring me down today. All your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill that emptiness. The piece is gone, but the puzzle undone. That's the way it is. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Said words can't bring you down. Oh no, you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. No matter what we do, no matter what we do, no matter what we say, the song inside the tune, full of beautiful mistakes. No matter where we go, the sun will always shine, and tomorrow we might wake up on the other side. 'Cause I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words won't bring us down. Oh no, we are beautiful in every single way. Says words won't bring us down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. Ooh, 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 don't you bring me down today. Oh, ooh, don't you bring me down. Oh,
Thank you so much to our band and to Hope and Dawn. You are all so very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. So now it's time for our conscious giving affirmation. And if you'd like to take your gift, we'll take a look at our affirmation. So if you take your gift, let's just say our affirmation together. You can hold it to your heart and you can say, I take care of myself so I can enjoy my prosperity and share with love and gratitude. Let's say that together again. I take care of myself so I can enjoy my prosperity and share with love and gratitude. And ushers, if you'd collect the gifts, please. So as you do that, I just want to remind the folks at home that you can send your gifts to the center, either by mail, sending that to Center for Spiritual Living Visalia, 117 South Locust Street, Visalia, California, 93291. You can go on our website and donate there very easily with an electronic donation. All of our donations are blessings. They are all incredibly valuable, regardless of how small, how large. Everyone is important. And those gifts of love have supported our center and continue to do so now as we continue our growth and our expansion. It's wonderful. You know, all these gifts of spirit come from the love of pure spirit. So now, as our host Sheila has received these gifts, let's just bless them. So I know that these gifts come from the love of pure spirit. I know that they are received and that the giver must receive back 100-fold or more, for we know that this is a reciprocal universe and the abundant flow of the divine moves in, through, and as every life, always freely flowing, returning. And so I bless these gifts. I know they do good work in our center, they do good work in our community, and good work in our world. And I just simply say thank you. I let it be, and so it is. And now we get to do the peace song. So y'all can gather up down there. And the words are going to be on the screen. And you'll be able to sing along at home, and you'll be able to sing along downstairs. All righty. Beautiful singing. I get to hear you on Facebook and see you singing all in a circle, and I'm right there with you, believe it or not. So now it's time for our benediction. If you're ready, you can join me in saying, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Now, life is in my mind, and life is in my body, and it's in the body of my affairs. And I think it. And oh, how I feel it. And I love it. I do. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. And together we can say, thank you, life. Now have a wonderful week, everybody, and I will see you next week. And enjoy the month of June. Bye-bye.